it's just like so tired. Oh, I'm interested in classical books and classical music, and I kind of like keep to myself about it. No one is falling head over heels over the quiet kid that's reading the book. Yes, it's possible that he could get like one or two crushes, like to be consistently fallen in love with over and over and over. Realistically, he should be a much more interesting character. He should be like charismatic and going out of his way to interact and help people. Like, Senpai's a fucking loner. No girl is gonna fall head over heels over the fucking loner, no matter how nice they are on the inside. That's just not, it's not realistic. Like, again, yes, maybe like one or two, but having like pretty much every girl that he interacts with consistently fall in love with him week after week after week, like, you have to be someone very special to get that kind of luck and that kind of thing. Instead of making an actually interesting character, what YandereDev does, he turns what could be an actually compelling character into another fucking hereditary plot. This character acts this way because his family comes from a long line of blah blah blah. Or like, oh, he's the chosen one and he has this magnet that draws women towards him, like that one joke in the fucking Cody Code That's Cringe video with the Camus powder.
Yeah, he's just a big like glob of girlfriends. Just walking through the city.
He just walks through the city at 4 a.m. saying, "What you doing? What you doing?"
And then finally, we get to the biggest hindrance of the story. The main character. Listen, I completely understand wanting a blank slate character for the audience to project on. It's common. It works. It's functional. The issue is that he didn't do that. In failing to make a blank slate character, he made a boring character. You know, before Ayano didn't really have a backstory. She was just someone who was able to do certain things and acted in a certain way, and the community would project onto that lack of information. But now we have information. Now we know that she comes from this long line of disease where they feel numb and they cannot experience joy until they meet another person. Your Honor, it's not a plot hindrance, it's Riz. Senpai has no fucking Riz. I'm sorry. He's got like small dick energy and he knows. Ayano's dad has more characterization in a fucking demo game than Senpai has had for almost 10 years. Senpai has always been, he's just, I'm nice. I'm kind. I help people. I read books. I listen to classical music. I'm a straight-laced loner. What a boring guy. Like, there are so many more interesting characters in the school. Like, you can tell how boring Senpai is if other characters, especially male characters, in the school are way more fucking interesting than him. There's like a huge reason why Budo and Ayano is like a very popular ship, because Budo has so much energy, charisma. He has a projecting voice. He has confidence. He's skilled. He can fight. He has a very interesting hairstyle. He has things to do. He has passions. And he has a very interesting story, which is that, like, he used to be just a normal member of the martial arts club, but then he got so passionate about it that he wanted to challenge the club leader, who had so far been uncontested and had like a win streak, you know, like she had never been beaten before. And he felt so motivated, so passionate about martial arts and his ability to be a strong fighter that he trained and he practiced until he beat her. And when he beat her, she quit the club and gave him the title of club leader. That's an interesting story. That's an interesting character. On top of the fact that he is confident and he projects his voice and he's passionate and he's very kind. Whenever you join the club and you want to, like, whenever you join the club and you want to sign up, he's always like, hey, feel free to spar with us, you know, like, we always want you to be included. He spars with other members of different clubs. Like, you don't have to be a part of the club if you just want to spar. Like, that's so cool and so nice. That's so much more of an interesting and attractive character than the fucking main love interest, who is just boring. Fucking blank toast. that's why there's like a huge ship of Ayano and Budo, and that tells you how fucking boring Senpai is. And people tell YandereDev like, hey, Senpai's a boring character. Who the fuck would fall in love with this guy? And his excuse is like, oh, there's actually a secret reason. It's hereditary, which we've already seen him like pull on other characters over and over and over. He has this reason why he's so attractive, but I'm keeping it a secret. And like, I'm sure he has the reason. I'm sure he has it like written down somewhere. But like, it's such a boring way to characterize someone, you know? Why does it have to be he is attractive because magic or like anime logic? Why can't you just make an interesting character? You're clearly able to do that, and I know you can make interesting characters because you made Budo among other characters. And it's not like you have to completely change Senpai either. It's not like it's like, oh, let's make this bookworm a Chad who rizzes all the ladies and he's like super hot and super suave and he's horny and whatever. Like, you don't even need to change his character because there's another character that does what Senpai does but is far more attractive and has far more personality and far more characterization. I completely forgot his name, but it's the leader of the art club. The leader of the art club doesn't really have much of a story, but he's kind of a loner. He's interested in the arts. He's like a classical painter. He keeps to himself. He's always drawing. And whenever you talk to him, he speaks in as few words as possible. Like when you join, it's like, hello, join, welcome, paint, hello. Like he talks like that. And even though he's not the most interesting character, he's not on like Budo levels of interesting and charming, he still has something about him that makes you question, that makes you interested in him, where it's like, oh hey, why does this guy speak in so many few words? Why is he always hiding? Why is he always shy? Oh, he's so talented. He's very passionate about what he does. He's attractive. He has like a bold design as well. He's not fucking basic ass fucking milk toast over there. And like, that's so much better characterization for like a love interest, you know? Like, it's like, oh, the shy boy who's kind of attractive. Like, I want to know more about him. I want him to speak up to me. I'm interested in him and I want to engage with him. No one wants to engage with Senpai. What the fuck does he have going for him? A book? Cool, man. You clearly care about your book more than you care about making friends. Like, what? He has one friend and it's Osana and he doesn't even hang out with her. Like, they barely hang out. The only reason why they hang out is because Osana makes them hang out, because Osana has a crush on him. Senpai has no agency. He's always strung along and run around by other people in his life. If he had to choose, if Osana didn't schedule everything for them, he wouldn't even fucking hang out with her. And that's really sad. And you know, that could say something about Senpai as a character, but it's not acknowledged in the story. It's not acknowledged that he's a piece of shit who doesn't give a shit about his friends. It's acknowledged more like Osana did it and he said yes because he's nice. There's just so much potential and it's wasted. You could say that about a lot of things about Yandere Simulator. That specific aspect of storytelling has always bugged me for like the longest time. I think another thing about like my main issue is that like every problem that I have with the characters is fixed in the 1980s mode, because instead of just having like a blank slate character who feels absolutely nothing without their precious senpai, we have someone who feels dead inside but is putting on a sickly sweet persona on the outside. She's like friendly and outgoing and she's very sweet. Anyone would want to be friends with someone like her, you know, like she's a nice pretty girl. Then you have Ayano's dad, the senpai of the game, and he has so much more personality. He's kind of wooed by good looks. He's interested in money, in financial security. He kind of has this dumb, aloof nature about him, but he's also very pretty and very charismatic. He has a distinct hairstyle and a distinct manner of speaking, and it's like pretty reasonable to see why people would fall for him. He's pretty, he's outgoing, and you know, he's easily swayed by like hot women. Additionally, the people that fall in love with him, instead of it being the love interest childhood friend, the cooking club president, the drama club president, the occult club president, the sports club president, the school nurse. She's not even like the actual nurse. She's like a temporary nurse that comes in. The substitute teacher, his sister, the school president, the leader of the delinquents. That's the only interesting one. Because like, it would make sense that the leader of the delinquents would be the one to kind of make the advance. Like, if you wanted to get a delinquent student, it would make more sense happens to have the leader of the delinquents. And she's also a very interesting character. The same thing for all the fucking love interests is so annoying and so tired. What are the fucking chances? And they're also all like not there at school at the like within the same amount of time as. But in 1980s mode, it's like a random girl who likes books, a random girl who likes sports, a random girl who's very rich, a random girl who happens to be a swimsuit model, a random girl who is the top of her class in journalism, you know, and like the last girl actually has story purposes that are more interesting than just I'm the school president and our families have been having feuds and talks for like 60 years and blah blah fucking blah. But yeah, like literally all my gripes are fixed in 1980s mode, and it's like, why can't you look at that and see how much better it is? Why do you have to stick to this rudimentary story that's like copied and pasted and there's no reason for it? It's not like senpai goes out of his way to meet these people, to meet the club members. He doesn't have this like obsession with status. He doesn't have this allure to women who like take charge of their passions. It's never explained like that. It's just like, this girl has been gone from school for 2 weeks. She fell in love with senpai. Go kill her. It's just so boring. But thankfully, I can recognize that this is bad storytelling, and it inspires me to get better at my own storytelling. So I try to not have like contrivances like that where it's like, oh, the super important person of whatever thing. I try more to just have it be like, this character is interesting and has traits that align, and you know, their backstory aligns as well. Like, it would be so much more interesting if Ayano just like, she just had childhood trauma or something. It would be so much more interesting, but no, it's like, she's a yandere because the universe was like, you are a yandere now. And it's like, okay. And she doesn't even have the most appealing trait of a yandere, which is the duality. The duality of a yandere is the most appealing aspect. And her mom has that. Her mom has this like sickly sweet persona, but internally she's like fucking ready to kill. And that's really interesting. But it's explained away as like, oh, well, they both have the same condition, but Ryoba just learned to pretend better. So stupid.